Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be. My name is Sean, and I'm delighted you're joining us for today's ESBC Community Webinar. Today, I'm joined by Vivian Boss, MVP, who will cover Intelligent Apps, the future of Power Apps. We love hearing what you guys have to say, so remember to join in on the conversation about today's webinar. Our handle is at ESBC_community, and our hashtag is hashtag ESBC25. Tweet us, tag us, and tell us what you learned. Don't forget to check out our Learning Hub, which is updated with the latest blogs, ebooks, webinars, and how-to videos. You can access and view the Learning Hub by visiting our website, sharepointeurope.com, and clicking Content tab at the top. Don't let the learning stop here. Continue to keep up and stay ahead by joining us for our next webinar, How to Successfully Adopt Power Platform at Scale, Central Government UK, with Emma Claire Shaw. This webinar will take place Tuesday, 28th of January at 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. CET. For more information on this webinar, please check out www.sharepointeurope.com/register for webinars. Elevate your Microsoft Power Platform skills at the European Power Platform Conference in Vienna on the 16th and 19th of June 2025. Power Platform Week attendees get €150 off tickets with code Power Platform Week, valid until February 7th. Learn the latest in Power Apps, Power Automate, and Dynamics 365 while connecting with experts and peers. Scan the QR code to register now or visit sharepointeurope.com/European Power Platform Conference. Don't miss out our 2-for-1 sale for FabCon Europe, available February 5th only. Register now to get 2 participants for the price of 1. More perspectives, more networking, and more opportunities. Act fast. This offer is for 1 day only at www.sharepointeurope.com/FabCon Europe 2-for-1 deal. Share your expertise at ESPC 25. ESPC 25 call for speakers is now open. Share your knowledge and connect with industry leaders and showcase your expertise in Microsoft 365, Azure, Copilot, SharePoint, Microsoft Teams, or Power Platform at Europe's premier Microsoft 365 and Azure conference. Submit your sessions today at www.sharepointeurope.com/submit-speak-ESPC. As always, if you have any questions at any stage, please feel free to type them in the questions box and Vivian will get to them during the webinar. This webinar will be recorded and added to the Resource Center, where you'll be notified by email when it's available. And now, I'm going to pass you over to today's webinar presenter, Vivian. Hello, Vivian. Thanks for joining us today.
Hello. Thank you for the introduction. There was quite a lot of information. There was a lot of information to take from here, and I haven't even started yet. So let me share my screen for all of you.
Yeah, I can see your screen there.
Looking good. Great. So welcome, everyone. It's great to see so many of you already joining on a lovely Tuesday. To me, it's a Tuesday midday. It might be morning and afternoon for all of you. So hopefully you can all sit down nicely and cozily, ready for the hour of learning and hearing way more about intelligent apps and the future of Power Apps. So a quick introduction to myself. My name is Vivian Fuss. I am a solution architect at my own company. It's called 502NM. Feel free to reach out to me. It's always a good conversation starter of where and how the company name came to be. But I have been working with both Dynamics 365 and Power Platform for the past 10 plus years now. Started off in Dynamics 365, so model-driven apps is my background before they were known as model-driven apps. So everything coming there, and now in the age of the AI, it's very interesting to see how the development has been happening. My passion is community. I attend, speak, and organize quite a lot of conferences, and also try to make sure I get Dynamics 365 and also Power Platform out there from the perspectives of both smaller and enterprise companies. I'm a business apps, applications, and Microsoft 365 MVP. Been sharing that title for a few years now, and hoping to continue. I do have a blog. It's vivian.teeman.com. You can scan the QR code, and you will get to my website, where you will also have all the links. And there are quite some blog posts. I have promised myself as a New Year's resolution to blog more this year, but we'll see how that goes. You can catch me on socials. I'm mostly active on LinkedIn. X I've kind of started discarding, and now Blue Sky has also come, but haven't managed to add it here yet. So you can find me on socials. You can reach out to me afterwards if you have any questions, and also feel free to just drop the questions in the chat as they come, and we'll have them all answered. So feel free to interrupt me also during the session where it makes sense. Then we can make sure we get all the content out there as soon as it comes. But that was a quick or long intro, we'll see. But let's get to the actual topic. So today we'll talk about intelligent apps. What is intelligent apps, where they came from, how, what can you do with that? Also going into the AI in Power Apps. So building on top of that new word or new branding name, we'll go look at the different AI functionalities that are still, most of them in preview, but will all be already possible to test out. We'll look at natural language search, smart paste, form fill, AI summary a bit, but we'll also have a few more additions to it. I'll talk about a bit of them first, and then we'll do a demo where I will show you most of them. We'll see how the time goes. And then to finish it off, we'll talk a bit more, I'll build more about copilots with autonomous agents and custom copilots. Yeah, the same name, same, but different. Sometimes most people get them mixed and confused in what they are and what they're not. Also, we are in January, so the release wave 1 notes have just come out. So the plan for the next 4 months is out there. Let's have a look a bit about that as well in the end if we have time. What is new and what is coming. But let's start with intelligent apps. Name. Intelligent apps, in my opinion, is a very interesting name. The first time I heard about it was in Ignite 2024 in Chicago, where I attended Power Platform sessions, and suddenly it seemed like everyone with the Power Platform was talking about intelligent apps. Really didn't understand what it meant, never heard the name before, but they kept talking about it and mentioning it. And then one common theme that I saw about the fact was it that they tried to incorporate AI to everything that they were doing within model-driven apps. So model-driven apps have been around for a very long time. As I mentioned, from Dynamics 365, when it was just known as CRM. Model-driven apps kind of grew from that. And then that means that everything that they do now is also adding AI to it, meaning that all the complaints that we have had from the salespeople, that everything has to be put in manually, that you'd have to fill in so many times, things that is something that AI will now natively try to help you when working with different apps in the Power Platform. By Microsoft, there's also a pretty ambitious statement saying by 2026, 40% of net new applications will be intelligent apps that incorporate AI to enhance existing experiences and form new use cases. So the features that we will talk about today is also all the things that have been coming the past year, because it has been a Copilot year. We have been talking AI and Copilot the whole year as assistants, so also in the name, and kind of something that you've had on next to all our applications. But what we're doing now is we're actually pulling AI into the applications more and more and having it be part of our work stream, and also taking a step further. So that's where the autonomous agents will come into play, is that we'll have AI fulfill specific functionality for us. So now it's not anymore talking about the fact how we'll have AI assistants, but we will actually be able to create AI models, we'll be able to create agents that actually fulfill a specific purpose and job for us. With Microsoft Power Platform, we have a Copilot enabled almost everywhere. So this is the newest, hopefully, the newest overview of what Power Platform actually consists of, and you will have Copilot enabled in everywhere. Copilot Studio is your place to be to create your custom Copilot agents, you name it, and that is also where you can modify everything. Power Apps is what you will have. You already have Copilot in. Same with Power Automate, Power BI, Power Pages. So all the Power Platform products already have Copilot enabled in them. And now what's happening is that there are coming more and more functionality to it. Sean, one question is that I have the message blinking. Do I have to do something about it?
No, that's just me telling people to put in the question box. Yeah.
Cool. I'll just ignore it then. We have underneath, you can see in the top, we have the local no code part. And then in the bottom, we have the extensibility going a bit more deeper into a bit more technical, where it is that you go to the database level. You'll have the managed environments, Power Effects to do your formulas, Dataverse as a database, AI Builder to create very cool functionality, for example, sentiment analysis and so on and so forth, and data connectors, so to incorporate absolutely everything into the Power Platform. So that is what will be, you'll still see the same platform, but now everything that you do and everything you are will have the word basically Copilot enabled in front of it. So for those of you, it's very bad to assume not everyone actually has been in the Microsoft world with eye shadows on and heard Copilot 3 times a day minimum. So for those that actually haven't heard that much about the Copilot, then what is it? Copilot, in the words of Microsoft, are intelligent AI assistants that use generative AI and large language models to assist humans with complex cognitive tasks. So AI tools, AI assistants, we have seen them trying to take over our world a bit. So even though you don't, or you might not know that is called Copilot, you likely have seen it in your organization in many places. A bit of a disclaimer here, a lot of companies, a lot of enterprise companies actually have disabled the functionality for their companies because they haven't caught up in what it does with their data and their current customizations. So if your company or if your organization doesn't have any of the Copilot functionality, make sure you reach out to them and see if you can put up a plan on how to incorporate Copilot into your organization, or how you could learn more that the assistive AI functionalities could also be enabled for you. From the illustration below, you can see that there are 2 types. What is considered Copilot? You have Microsoft Copilot, which has, in Danish we have a saying, "Kære barn, mange navne," meaning sweet child, many names, basically. So there are a lot of Copilots, there are a lot of names for Copilots, but one thing for sure, you don't have to remember all of them, although if you want to know the licensing, you probably do. But all of them, so all of the products that you are using within business applications have a Copilot, have an AI assistant that you can use. So that is the right side of it. That is the native Microsoft created AI assistants. And on the left side, we see custom copilots, which is then powered by Copilot Studio, where you have personally and within your company the possibility of creating your process-specific agents and AI assistants to be able to make sure they work with your company and specific processes that you have running within your company or industry as it is. I will also show you in the demo part that we have already quite a lot of templates within Copilot Studio that you can use and utilize, so you don't have to start from scratch as you start. The last part of the really theoretical thing, I promise, is the Copilot in general helps us to go from no code to low code to pro code. So as you can see, adding Copilot to Power Platform here helps us with being and solving tasks with no code. It doesn't mean that no code is involved. It is more pointing to the makers that they don't have to know code to be able to actually fulfill more complex tasks that beforehand you needed to hire a developer for. But you can also add step by step. So adding a developer to it, you can also do complex and even more complex tasks with a developer using Azure functionalities. So adding more and more pro code to your Power Platform is also enabling you way more streamlined integrations and the development as you have managed to do today. So we are moving away from the thought that we do not need any developers anymore. We are seeing that Microsoft is now starting to incorporate both no-code people and also pro-code developers so that they can work together. They can all utilize the AI tooling and they could actually work within creating the same processes and same applications, one working in their own UI and letting the developers also work in Visual Studio. So we're all happy within and where we're working. But that was a lot of information about how and where the Intelligent Apps name came to be. So it is a branding. It is not it's not because Power Apps is going to get renamed, hopefully not. But we are working with apps that we are adding AI to. So we are no longer having to create things from scratch. And that is also what more and more features in the admin center, so in the settings of your model-driven apps, for example, are allowing you to utilize. So here is a small list of the things that I have brought out. This is not a comprehensive list. There are way more functionalities coming and already that have come. Primarily security governance, you have a whole new admin center. So everything is kind of changing, but we are focusing today on the functionalities of AI prompts, AI form fill assistants, AI suggested formula columns, natural language create and view search. This is something that is rather new the past few months has come. There are very mixed feelings about that update, but luckily you can do something about it. Show you also the plan designer, which is also a whole new way of both creating your processes, making sure everything is streamlined. And you have the option of generating agents from existing applications. So let's get to it. AI prompts is the first thing. So prompting has become a real thing once we have started using copilots or copilots. Prompts have been the important part of actually getting any useful information out of it. So you now have the possibility in your Maker portal, you have an area called AI prompts that you can use. I will show you how to get to it in a moment. And there are a lot of templates that you can utilize to be able to start your own prompts, start and create different automatizations as such. And you have the possibility of utilizing the information and the prompts you're creating here within your apps, and also through Power Automate, and you name it. So it is possible for you to save and create prompts and then use it within your apps. There are also great blogs about it in the community, so make sure you check those out if you're interested in this. But I suggest when starting, go through the templates that you have given, test them out, and then you're able to maybe get some ideas and better work with the little button up here that says build your own prompt from scratch. AI form fill assistance, AI form fill assistance, and smart paste, as they call it, all preview functionalities, but they are available in a preview, and they kind of come together. So AI form fill assistance fills out the form with the suggested content or suggested ideas that it has seen you fill out before, where it thinks it fits in. At the same time, if you copy some information to your, if you do Control V or Control C, excuse me, and then Control V to your customer form, it will also paste the information on the customer form in the fields it thinks it should go to. And then you have the option of either accepting or declining the changes the AI has made for you. There are two ways I will show you how to paste and do things, but every time AI has made a suggestion to a field, the field will look very gradient, let's put it that way. You will definitely see the fields that AI has added the suggestions to, so you don't have to be afraid that AI is adding data somewhere where you don't notice and you can't take action on it. You should always double check the information that AI is putting onto a field or in a form. We have AI suggestions for formula columns. So now you have different types of columns, always also known as fields, that you can create. One of them is formula type of field. And for formula type of field, you now have in preview the possibility of get formula suggestions. So instead of having to type your own PowerFX formula, you have the possibility of using natural language and your own processes to actually have the system create the formula for you. So if you're not very good at or keen on creating formulas in PowerFX, you have the possibility of getting suggestions to AI. This is one of the changes that I would have loved to show, but unfortunately I haven't managed to get it in any of my environments. So that is something that either is in only specific ones, because I couldn't even see it in previews. So it might not be available for everyone, but it's definitely a great way of making formula columns, also more complex ones, without actually having to figure out the whole formula yourself and try to become smarter and spend a lot of time on that.
Vivian, just a question in there, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Is there a way to disable AI form fill on a field? Because what happens is sales guys just clicks accept to anything, and subfields are more critical than others.
Yes, you can disable that functionality in the admin center. When I go to my demo part, I will show you where you can enable and disable them. You cannot disable it for some fields. You can either turn it on and off, but you cannot selectively choose which fields you want to have it enabled on and which not.
Amazing. Thank you, Vivian.
No problem. So the next one is natural language create, view, and search. Microsoft has once again changed the way our grids and menu bar kind of look like. So you can see in the top we have edit columns, edit filters have gotten a new placement. And also we have now gotten a new Copilot gradient search box inside all our tables. So now you have the possibility of basically creating your own views or searching for data in your own natural language way without having to figure out advanced find, figure out filters, columns, so you can write it in and then be able to see the information coming from it. Once again, it has had mixed feelings as it is that new. Takes a bit of time to get used to, but it's very helpful for people who are not that technical and would like to just write what they want and then get the results. But those that are used to using tools like advanced find and adding and removing filters, for them it takes a bit more time to get used to.
Sorry, Vivian, to disrupt you again. There's just another question in there. So, good morning, Vivian. Thanks for great insights so far. Do you have experience with custom fields when it comes to Smart Fill? Do we need to fill in the description of a column so that can map the derived values?
I always recommend adding description of the fields, no matter if you use AI or not. It is helpful for everyone. I have not seen it being completely necessary. It is taking it from the field type that you have to put in anyways. So it is not looking into, it's not fully word-to-word looking into the field description or column description, but it definitely helps. So it is primarily setting it on the field type values and also the title of it. One thing, and you will also see once I actually show you a copy paste, you will see that it's not always 100% accurate. So that is why it's also sometimes it shifts to some other fields, but no, it's not necessary for that or required to do that. Anything else?
Perfect. Thank you, Vivian. No, that's it so far. Thank you.
So we have Plan Designer. We have the new way of actually creating your business processes. So what you do is you start a new process, a new solution that you want to have mapped, figure out the tables, figure out all the relationships and areas to it. You actually just type it into the Power Apps. What is it, AI prompt, and then then it gives you the whole idea of how it could look like, what the tables could be, what the relationships could be. So for example, here you can see that I have added a business problem called I need my staff to check out equipment and be notified of due dates. And then from here, it has noted down that there are 2 user roles for this solution, that you have to make a solution for employees who checks out the equipment, and then administrator, so a person who is responsible. And then it will give you all the steps, and it will give you all and create everything as you go along. So it's a step-by-step process. You add everything to the process bit by bit, and in the end, you have a full plan for it. So that is a very interesting thing, but a whole new way of thinking of creating your apps and your processes within Power Platform. Really cool thing. It is available in preview, so check that out as well. Last but not least, we have generate agents from existing apps. So that is also something that's coming, is the fact that you can create your own agents that are app specific. So what you want to do is create, if you want to have a specific agent. So now we're talking not just the Copilot assistant, but we're talking about an agent to actually fulfill a specific task. So those you want to have very specific, so you want to have them for a specific application, that you can also do through the Power Apps Maker portal. You don't have to go to Copilot Studio and then create an agent. You can do that from the app itself. It is very new. It is not in all environments, so it will likely spread in the near future. But this is one way of limiting the time you need and jumping between windows. So you would be able to just create a specific agent when needed. Do you need to jump in? Or there's some background noise? We'll see. Doesn't seem like there was anything. But yes, this is for specific agents that you can see and then work with also afterwards within Copilot Studio that I will also show you. And then let's go to the demo time. Demo visual. I'm very proud of this visual. Also using AI to create images is one of the main things I do. Now let's go in and find the right windows. Let's start with the admin portal, because all the things that I showed you the theory on right now is enabled in the admin center. So it is enabled in the settings. You go into the settings of a specific environment. So they're all environment specific. And under features, you go product, you go features, you are now able to see all the specific AI and other settings that you have for this specific environment. Here it is also where you can disable Copilot if, and a lot of my enterprise customers currently have done it because they want to ease into it. Here is also where you have the possibility of enabling AI builder, AI prompts. That was the first thing I showed you and we'll look into in a moment. But it is also something you need to enable before you will be able to work with it. Here is also where you can fill out the AI form fill assistance. By default, Microsoft has added the setting to be users as feature becomes available. So this means that users will automatically get this feature the moment it becomes available within the region you're in or your environment is in. That is your choice to if you want to keep it this way. If you don't do anything, this is what will happen. If you want to go through the settings, you can either get it immediately or you can fully turn it off for people so no one will get it, and you can figure out how to roll the feature out to your users yourself. I have right now had it as a default, and that is now available within in my environment. Same with AI suggested formula columns. As you can see, there's a lot of things that are still marked with preview. So those can be a bit unstable. So everything the marked with preview, make sure you either take high caution or not at all use it in production environments, because there is no guarantee that they will work as you hope them to. The natural language grid and view search is once again a feature that is enabled by default for all the users once it becomes available. So if you have a process that you want to ease into the rollout, put it to no one, and then add it to immediately, or so that you can enable and disable it for people. That is your flexibility, but as I said, Microsoft has put it by default to be enabled for everyone. So everyone will get it, and you will have questions if people see new things. Usually people tend to scream quite loudly. We have AI insight cards. That is also a functionality that you can use to create summaries and Copilot can pull insights from in your main forms. So that does not happen from different pop-out forms, but the main forms only. And there are so many other different settings that you can go through. It will be a whole session on its own to go through all of those. But the things that I just talked about are those that I'm going to show you as well. But this was just remember that within the settings area and features, you're able to work and by enabling, disabling the features for the AI functionalities. AI prompts, that is a window you saw before. We'll have the functionality within your Power Platform at center here. So if you don't see it in your navigation, make sure you go to More, Discover All. Here you have all the functionality there is for the Maker portal. And if you scroll really down, you will find AI prompts in the bottom here. You can pin it. So if you click on that, it will be visible all the time, or you can unpin it and it will just show up to you once you just click on it and are in the area. As I mentioned, there's quite a lot of templates to use. For example, you can use analyze sentiments, identify proper nouns, spell check. That is a very popular one. Create headings, respond to complaints, so on and so forth. So you can use and do quite a lot for it. So you can create a blog post, for example. So make sure you go through the different prompts that it's giving you with. Add data. You can add your data sources and information. Where do you want to pull information from? Let's do that. This probably wouldn't get me anything, but you just add your words, you add your data sources, and then it creates you a very interesting way. Somehow it has created the theme of Norway. Have nothing to do with Norway, so that's quite a stunning choice it has taken. But you will get a prompt response with a title and basically a blog post. So if you're wondering why you've seen so much AI content created blog posts, there you go. That is the reason why.
Vivian, just a question there, if that's okay.
Yeah.
It's quite a long one. Hello, Vivian. Thanks
Okay.
for your presenting. I'd like to ask that I can see that Microsoft integrating Copilot almost every product, even if I can use it more than a suggestion. For example, we can create basic / mid-level developments with Copilot and Power App Studio for a Canvas app. So can we say that after a time period, there won't be any developers, just a couple of AI specialists who manage Copilot very well? Can these developments lead the persons learning AI and make them far away from developer role?
Quick answer to that one is no. We are nowhere near. We are nowhere near letting our developers go. That is the same thing that when AI became as a thing, the people said that okay, I might as well quit my job because AI is taking all our jobs. AI is taking over. No, it might seem like that, but what AI is doing is helping us become more productive. We're doing most of those things ourselves. It's also helping developers be more productive, because what AI and the Copilot we're using currently, what it's doing is it's helping to prolong or quicken and make sure that we write better code, that we use better information than what we have been beforehand. So at least, no, I don't see that we're getting rid of developers. AI definitely will be a position in companies coming and going forward. Definitely data analysts will get a higher pay grade. They will become very important, because utilizing more AI is also making sure that your data is on spot, that you have all the information in those formats that need it. Because if you have, pardon my French, crappy data, then you will also have no use of AI, because it's still not thinking on its own as such. It is acting upon the information you're feeding it, and it's learning from it. So the worse the data you're feeding it, it might be code, it might be documents, it might be you name it, the worse information you're getting out of it. you still have to have people either verify it or working with it to be able to make sure that everything is working as should and as required. So ask me the question again in 5 years, I might have another answer. But currently, no, I would not run to fire my development department.
Thanks, Vivian.
No problem. That was AI prompts. And as you can see, we have so many different options here. Just click and open one, play around, test it out, and it will give you very funny answers in the start, but it's a great way of also learning to prompt. So to make sure that you also can, because more and more people have started using Copilot Chat. So using and learning also through here will help you create better prompts in all different Copilots that you're using. So that was that part. Ooh. If we go into an actual model-driven app, then we have the chance of seeing the new search that we have here. We also can see the filters that we have added to the view. So as you can see, the view that I have open is my active context currently. And here you can see that it is filtered by the owner, being me, and the status being active. You can remove the filters if you want, then it will refresh and it will show you the ones that is available. But if you want to add filters, you would still go into the edit filters button. And then you are able to add filters as you know and love beforehand. So that has not changed. It is basically just the UI and visualization of how you can see them. Edit columns is also the same as it has been for a bit now. You can add, remove just the same way. It's basically just how it shows it here. And then you have the possibility of finding, you're using natural language to find the records within that table that you want. I unfortunately didn't manage to create any records here, so I won't find anything. But the idea is that you use the search like you have used the search on top here for searching records, but you just use normal words like name, find me all contacts with the name Anna, and then it will show you down the list of the records. Not a big change, apart from the fact that search has been made now very prominent for each table. It was very small in the end here before, where the edit columns and edit filters was more of a main part, and now it has become very, very prominent. But as you can also see, what they have done is they have compressed the whole view here, so you don't have a lot of icons on the main bar anymore. They are all underneath the 3 dots. So that has not grown with me yet, so need to work on that. But also with the focus view, that is also one thing that has recently come. That actually looks like it did before. So if you have records, you can see the preview of them, and you can go back to read-only grid. So it's basically just a read-only grid that has now gotten kind of a look and feel more like the focused view. But I think the part that I'm gonna have the hardest with is the fact that I don't have all the icons visible right away as I did before, but I have to do one more click to be able to do that. But we'll see how much and how customizable the toolbar is now. And then it might be that you could add more to it. But this is the default. This is what the view will look like once the feature gets enabled in your user's UI as well. But if we go back, I actually thought I had contacts. Okay, never mind. If I don't, then we'll just create one. So we have, if we're looking at the new paste and form fill functionality, you can see that there has come a new icon. in the bar here. It's called Smart Paste, and within the Smart Paste, you have the functionality of either clicking on the Smart Paste button, where it will then take the last thing you have copied and try to paste it into the form. Let's see. No, I didn't have anything. If it doesn't find anything, it cannot do anything. Makes kind of sense. But let's go, for example, on my LinkedIn profile and just copy some of it. Very randomly copy the profile and then go back to here. So now, as I mentioned, there are two ways. I could either click on the Smart Paste button and it will paste it, or I can also do Control V and it will automatically start the same process. So what it does, it takes the content from the clipboard, analyzes it, and then pastes it into the form in the fields that you feel or it feels it should be in. And within that, then it is also in the top bar, which is not very visible if you ask me. It asks you actually if you want to accept all suggestions or you want to clear it all. Because it can be that it suddenly has filled out some total nonsense. So you can clear all, then it will remove all, accept all, then it will become actual part of the form. You can also accept them field by field. So that kind of shows you also the source. You cannot enable and disable the functionality for fields, but you can kind of say that one sucks. Because you can see, for example, it has pasted my company name into address 1. Not really something I would want. And my school, it has added also into address 1. So it kind of takes, but then again, it has figured out the city and state, province, and country region. So it's mostly pretty good, I would say. So if you accept all its suggestions, it becomes part of the form and you can click save and it is there. So that is something to also depends on the information you are pulling it from, but just copy paste. And especially if you have some Word documents, that will be much cleaner. But it clearly also works from just pasting from randomly from the LinkedIn profile. So when looking in the future, as I mentioned, we have release wave 1 just upon us. It will be enabled in just a few months, but you already have the possibility of looking through the different updates that are coming. I recommend personally, if you haven't seen it yet, to visit this page, pinpoint or favorite this page. In Power Apps, you will have all the release wave 1 summary information, but also all the things that are planned, coming soon, try now. So everything is in here and you'll be able to see when it's coming and where it has exactly reached out to. You also have the possibility of fetching the information through an RSS feed. So all of it, if you want to work with it programmatically, it will also work. This is the one point that I recommend keeping an eye out when different features are enabled. I would not look at the other release notes that often just to know what's coming, but the check marks, I think it's sometimes very painful to wait for them. So the release planner is my go-to point. But yes, as we're looking into the future, I mentioned also autonomous agents. We have Copilot Studio that I mentioned about not doing assisted copilots anymore, but more doing agents that do the work for you or do a specific task for you, planning a trip, IT help desk. So within Copilot Studio, that is where you can extend everything and create your own agents, as you also saw. Oh my God. As you also saw, you can do that already from the Power Apps page. But here you have also a lot of pre-created agents that you can utilize within your environment that are already created for a specific purpose. So instead of having to create one from scratch from here, you could, for example, take a website Q&A agent, and then you can change the name, you can change the icon, the description, and then you can click on create. It will setting up your Copilot, and it will take a while, but once it's ready, it will let you know, and then you can start incorporating it into your systems. I have some great resources. Lisa Crosby, the great person in doing very good overview videos, has a great video of autonomous agents. There's also tons of Microsoft blogs on the topics. So make sure you read them, you have the value, get the value from them. Feel free to reach out to me afterwards on social media, on email if you can find it, and then I will be happy to answer any other questions as well.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Vivian, for a great presentation demo. So now we'll get into the questions and answers part. Should you wish to ask a question, please feel free to type in the questions box now. So our next question there, Vivian, is agents for existing apps. Have you tested with Canvas apps? I'm looking to have a conversational bot that pulls info from the different app sections. Would that be possible?
Full honestly, I have not tested that out, so I don't have an answer for that. But it's also a very new functionality. Things tend to come to model-driven apps way faster than they do to Canvas apps, so I would not be very certain that it works for Canvas apps yet.
Perfect. And then just another question there is, AI in Power Apps is often associated with chatbots and summaries. What are some lesser known AI use cases developers should explore?
We have, I would say, the more and more coming is the fact that developers use AI to help them create code. We have in Power Automate, Power Apps as well, when writing Power Epics, you have the possibility of using or AI helping you create formulas. Power Automate to help you figure out what's wrong with your flow, to help and see where an issue can be. What else is there that I've seen people use is generating text that has been for a while, that's already within Dynamics 365 apps, but I think it has now gone away, maybe not gone away, but it's moving more towards the fact that the people are starting to use AI to fill in some knowledge gaps. For example, if you're not that good at JavaScript, it might help you write something without having to. But it's something that still needs to be verified. If you are working, sometimes creating a Power Automate flow can be really frustrating. You have no clue where you should look at. So that I have had help with using Copilot for that. Also letting you know that it doesn't always work. It can get you even more frustrated. So that can also happen. It's a two-way thing, unfortunately.
Perfect. So just next question there is, does the smart paste only work in model-driven apps as of now, or also in Canvas apps?
Model-driven apps, currently. The Dynamics 365 and model-driven apps.
Perfect. So it looks like that's all the questions. So on behalf of the ESBC community, we'd like to extend a big thank you again for joining us today, Vivian, to carry out this webinar. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So that's the end of today's webinar. You can find this webinar and more at sharepointeurope.com/resource center. So thanks again for all of you for joining us today, and I hope you join us again soon. Take care.